Hey, what's up? This is Ricky Burke of CyberSec People. Welcome to the CSP vlog number 19. And welcome back all those who are in their first week back at work today. So a few months ago, I posted a video on LinkedIn. This was based on my experience working from home. Now, I worked from home for about 2 years, best part of 2 years. Some things I did pretty well, some things not so well, some learns along the way, and advice from friends. And what I'd like to do is just share my top 10 pieces of advice for those freelancers, entrepreneurs, people working from home, and hopefully help you get a more productive, a more successful day. So number one is having a dedicated workspace. So in an ideal world, you have a spare room, it's your office, make it your own, make it your work hub. So the best you can, desk chair. Personally, I had a couple of screens and a nice desk, and it worked for me. I felt like it was my office. If you can't do that, next best thing is just make a space somewhere that's your go-to space for work. So rather than just sitting on the sofa, sitting in the kitchen, sitting on your bed and working away, which obviously you can do, but if you have a regular place you go to for specifically your work, it can help your frame of mind from that point of view, in my opinion. Number two, routine. For me, that was really important. Some people, when you talk about working from home, they think it's, you've got all this time to do what you want, but for me, work is work. I think having that schedule, sort of 9 to 5, 8 to 6, or whatever hours you do, but those set hours, like you would in an office traditionally, is really helpful. So for me, structure is very important for my day-to-day. Especially it can help you stop overworking, because some people might have projects and deadlines, and you might let things go, and then suddenly you've got this deadline to meet and find yourself working late into the afternoon, evenings and beyond. It's much better if, again, you've got some set time, you can help give yourself that. 3, this might sound silly, but get dressed. There have been a few occasions where, more than a few occasions, when I've had maybe something very important to do. I'm working very early. Before I know it, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm still in my pajamas. So I think it's much better, again, mentally, to get switched on. It can help if you're getting prepared for work, getting up, getting freshened up, putting on some clothes. And I know some people have even put on suits to work from home. They're not planning to see anyone, but it just helps them in terms of their own mindset, just feel more professional and feel more productive. But at least maybe getting showered and out of your pajamas is a good start. Number 4, take breaks. So it's personally, I think it's really easy to be harsh on yourself and to keep working all the hours. Many times I didn't give myself breaks. I felt I had too much going on, and just I'd rather work through. And personally, it's not healthy. Not healthy to have a break, so give yourself some time to do that. On the back of that, get out the house. It's easy to just work until you maybe reach a certain target, but I think this goes back to structure. Have maybe structured breaks, structured lunch breaks. Get out the house, go for a walk, do some exercise. That leads on to number 6. Exercise is really important. There have been occasions where, again, it's easy to just be in the mindset of you working to a task, working to a project. You want to get it completed, and before you know it, the day's gone, and you've done nothing except for work. So you've not had your break, you've not got out the house, you've done no exercise. For your own mental health, it's really important. Try and get some exercise. So whether it's daily or maybe 2, 3 times a week, just go for a walk, go for a run. I think having goals helps. So signing up to it could be a marathon, could be a run, could be a walk, or joining a gym, doing something that helps you take your mind away from work, and you'll be more productive for it. Look at the science, apparently. Friends. So a big thing for me that I didn't realise was a big thing was the lack of human interaction. So I went from busy hubs, working sales environments, people on the phones, lots of banter, going out for lunches, going out after work for drinks. to suddenly nothing. I had no one around me. I was working from home. That was it. So that was a real shock to the system, and I think mentally impacted more than I realised. And I think be aware, the social, the human impact. Going to an office, talking about how's your day, how's your weekend, what are you up to next weekend, what are you doing for dinner? Oh, let's grab a coffee. Those things are all gone. So try and replace them. Try and do things to supplement that. Something that really helped me was I took out some office space. I worked out of another company's office once a week. That gave me my human fix, talking with people and having some work friendships, which I think is really helpful. Speaking of friends, boundaries, really important. So I spoke to someone recently, a lady who's in security, quite a sort of high profile role, and the problem she had was when she worked from home, she had some friends that didn't work. They were sort of more, housewives or whatever. And of course, don't get wrong, looking after a house and kids and whatever, really important, and hard work as well, a job in itself. But they would just drop by unannounced. They would drop around for coffee because that person's at home, and they just assumed, there's all the time in the world to do that. I think it's really helpful to set boundaries. So those boundaries with friends, also leading on to that with children. So I found it difficult working from home, having kids. I started off having one child at a time. My wife was pregnant with number 2, and then we had 2 kids in the house when I'm trying to work. And it worked, but not as, I say, productive as I would have liked. My productivity went up like this at the same time my wife got a full-time job and my kids went to full-time childcare. Not saying it's the sole reason, but it's a big contributor in, I think, especially good end to last year is having the space, having the freedom, having the time to myself, not having our oldest child knocking on the door, Daddy needs to go to the toilet, whilst I'm trying to work. As funny as it is and as nice as those moments are, it's tough work, especially when you're trying to juggle everything else. I think healthy diets, I think it's really easy to get into bad habits. I spoke about exercise or lack of, but also food, grabbing a snack, grabbing something quick. You'd expect working from home that you would have time to make all these nice lunches and look after yourself. Maybe for a lot of people they can. I was one of those that struggled with that. So I would go for the easy option, which often wouldn't be the most healthiest option. So again, look after yourself. I've found now I'm working in an office again, even though I'm local to where I live, I'm more structured with my food. I'm making lunches. I'm more prepared. I think some good advice would be try and do that in the home as well. Number 10, the fun thing that I forgot sometimes. You're working from home. Use your flexibility for your advantage. So some small things you can do is around the house. If I worked in my home office, sometimes I would just go and work in the kitchen or work in the living rooms, just somewhere different, just to make things, change the scenery. Sometimes if it's a nice day in the garden. What I didn't do enough of, and I regret now, is going to cafes, going to parks, going to the beach. I've done it a few times recently, working on a beach hut, finding some shade. But use your flexibility to your advantage. Get out the house, change the scenery, go, work out the library, lots of cafes. One, you can give yourself a break. You're walking somewhere or taking some transport like you would have done on the way to work before. But use it to your advantage. You don't have to be locked away every day. It's something that I forgot to do, and I would really recommend make the most of it if you can. So that's my top 10. If you've got any more advice, let me know. Take care.